Oh my goodness, I figured it out. Okay. Seriously. Oh, there we go. Hello, my peeps. Whew, a little bit of post-holiday panic there. Um, yeah, I took my computer with me this weekend. And so when I got back yesterday, I was like, whew, this shelf's dusty. The little raised shelf on the back of my desk. So I decided to take everything off and dust everything and move it all around. And totally forgot until I started to turn everything on that nothing was pointing in the direction it was supposed to. So, hello everybody. It is Tracey here for Tuesdays with Tracey. It is the 25th of March, better known as Demo Pre-Order Day. And I'm just happy to be here with you all. I ate out in restaurants a fair bit this weekend, and I don't like salt. I don't use salt. And sorry. Well, I am very very hydrated now after the weekend. I was starting to feel the effects of so much salt because I don't even cook with salt. But I realized that my chapped lips are still not quite over the whole salt episode. Oh my goodness, it was the best food. It was the best weekend. Oh, guys, 1 minute. I'm live, Merrick. Hello, my peeps. I am back. So you know what? Seriously, I think I've told people before, when I bought this little glass mat, I wasn't 100% sure. I wasn't like totally sold on the glass mat, but I love this glass mat. And the thing that I had found is like super handy is I write notes on it and then I take a picture of the note. So instead of having just more and more, I like to have good paper like cardstock and DSP, but I don't need to have this other stuff. So my IT department, as I refer to my son when it comes to computer stuff, help me set up all the hotkeys on here so I can quickly hit the M, because so I wasn't quite quick enough. You did get to hear a bit of it, but I hadn't even got to the point of saying I never used to get my UPS deliveries, which is Stampin'. I have a customer orders that I knew were coming today. UPS never used to get to my house until at least 5 or 6. And so when I changed my live to be 3 in the afternoon, I'm like, perfect, no interruptions. Because I mean, sometimes you catch the kids walking by. It happens to be spring break this week, but sometimes you catch the kids walking by. But yeah, all of a sudden now my UPS, and it's the same guy. It's this really nice little man. It's the same guy that's delivering it, but somehow now he comes in the middle of the afternoon. So I was gonna say, hopefully I can get through this whole live without the guy showing up and causing the dog to lose his nut. Alas, I could barely even say hello. But this little board, like I said, it's so handy for so many things. I make notes, take pictures. That's turned out to be perfect. When I mute the thing, I will always write something down. So if anybody tunes in and goes, "What are we looking at? Nothing's happening here," you'll know why. So yeah, that just amuses me. The timing of it all. Oh, so anyways, yeah, holiday this weekend. Off to Canmore. It was fantastic. If you ever need restaurant recommendations in Canmore, ask Tamara, because she's 3 for 3 on the. Oh my God, the food was so good. I just realized I never fixed my lights. The food was so good. Oh, it was so good. And the mountains were beautiful, and the place was beautiful, and everything was just. It was the company was the best. So I will show you because I'm quite proud of this. I love how this turned out. Ta-da-da-da. And I will tell you, I'll tell you the secret because it makes me look like I'm a genius, right? Like, oh my God, look at how well you painted that. With the exception of this part where I had to stay within the lines, all of these other pieces are, excuse me, are individual pieces. So if you saw the photos I posted, there's a back layer, there's the layer with the frame, there's a layer with this piece, can't see it there, this piece, and then these are all separate layers. So it's not like I was trying to like make fine lines and not go over. No, I just painted one piece and then we glued them all together, all together, put the layers in the right order. And I was going for the it's all stained look. So these two pieces are raw. So I do believe I will put some varathane on them, partially to protect them and partially just to give them a little bit more finished look. But the rest is just acrylic paint. And it was so, oh my God, it was so relaxing just to paint. I also made a vase or vase, depending how you want to look at it, that I left on the fireplace mantle. So I did post a picture of that, so I can't quickly grab that to show you. And then there's a third thing we made. So we had Friday night, Saturday morning, Sunday morning. The Sunday morning one is not completely finished. I did 2/3 of it there. And then I have a very specific idea in mind because it's a present for someone. And so I need to finish that up. And then I will eventually, once I give it to the person, I will post. And I can't tell you why, because if I did, it would be really obvious who it was for. So there we go. So I am back at it. I'm refreshed and ready to go. And part of going this weekend was to scope it out too, to see, hey, we have a little trouble finding places here in the spring to rent that aren't going to cost a fortune and cost everybody out of the thing. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have like a little spring getaway? Like that would be perfect. Go to the mountain. So part of it was just a scouting trip as well. And so wheels are turning. Tamara and I are talking, and there's options. There's ideas afloat. And so probably won't like really start getting into it till the fall, but it's just a lovely weekend. So now I'm like, okay, I got a couple of months. So I basically have April and May. Once we start getting into June, July, August, I try to do a couple things. And it's more of a, if people want to do stuff, you get a group of people together, I'm happy to come do stuff. But as it gets closer to the end of school in summer, I just can't seem to get people to come to stuff. So I tend to, stop trying after a certain point and just enjoy my summer break. I'm leaning into the garden this year, man. And then let's see if I can guess where this goes. Ooh, look at me go. And then I'm already planning for Christmas. We've already started planning for our spring Christmas extravaganza. I've got a retired product sale to get ready for. So I'm just like, okay, let's go. So I went back to some of the things. I'm like revising and tweaking my little sort of layout and plan. Rascal, go. He did stealing paper from the recycle bin. So I used to do this, like what's happening this week schedule, and would post it on Facebook, because then I kind of felt like I didn't have to do reminders because the schedule's right there. But I totally forgot to post it yesterday, because by the time I got the newsletter done at like 11 o'clock at night, I think, just getting back, doing things, many interruptions from the dog and the son who missed me. And it was just a whole lot of everything. Sorry. I put on that nice fresh chapstick. Now I have, let's be honest, it's either my hair or the dog's hair. Who knows at this point? Getting stuck in my chapstick. So yeah, but I thought this is a good way to know what we're going to kind of do. So I did post the mission Monday, which, oh, look at that, the next sheet down. Isn't that handy? I've got some stamp sets that I really, should have used by now. Here, I'm going to pull back out again on that. And now that I know how to zoom, I'm just going to be zooming like a mad woman. And I did make my little head in the corner there go away on the zoomed in shots, because I noticed on the last one, it covers up too much of what I zoomed in to show you. So I figured out how to do that too. I do consider myself a technical genius now. Anywho, if you have the stamp sets that you buy and then you don't get to, and part of the problem is I just pre-ordered a whole bunch more, but I just, because there's so many, and I know I will eventually get to them, and I just got to sort of get my schedule to quit running away from me. So this is what we're doing this week. I've got 2 or 3 sets that I have never actually inked up yet, that I'm inking up and making something with. So that's your challenge if you want to do the same. Ink it up and use it. I did send out the newsletter with all the links and things and stuff. And then today we're doing I said put fun fold card. It's actually a fun fold pop-up gift card holder. That does not all fit. Fun fold. And then I should have the like measurements and some instructions and pictures and stuff posted to Pinterest tomorrow. My little computer logo here, I'm trying to get my blog going, but I'm also trying to get my website going so I don't have to recreate the wheel, and that is not going quickly. I believe I am just going to hire it out now. So it will be done in some way, shape, or form, but I'll let you know. And then on Friday, I will post to Facebook and Pinterest the final projects, and that's a chance for you to post your Mission Monday projects as well. And then a note just to make sure you guys know, I did put it in the newsletter. You should be on the newsletter. Best way to stay in touch with everything. Our get together on Saturday is canceled as nobody responded. So nobody was coming anyways, but just in case you were dabbling and didn't do the registration deadline was Monday. So because of that, because the facility is there and everything, and I usually go set up on the Friday, I can cut that one a little closer. Well, hello, Mary Collier from Salem, Oregon. Ooh, I've been to Oregon. Oregon is a beautiful, beautiful state. Have I been to Salem? I know a lot about Salem just because of history. Well, nice to see you, Mary. Nice to see you. I guess I sort of see you. So yeah, there's I'm trying to, okay, they're in a different order. I'll show you when it's rescheduled. Anyways, but yeah, next time we will actually post this on Facebook like I'm supposed to. And maybe I will still post it today, even though I totally forgot until I was getting started. So yeah, I put these in random orders just so I can remember what it is I'm supposed to tell you guys. I really should put them in a better order. My lovely friend got me a copy of this. These are the new in colors that are coming out. And I am looking so forward to playing with these. These are some, I couldn't order everything that's in color. Not just because the one ink is not working, which is why you can see the pretty stamped images, and then this one's just drawn with a pen. This ink pad is having some issues, and they won't release it until they solve it, because Stampin' Up! Is very much about the quality control. But the papers I can see look lovely. I can see the markers, and I just, and the stamps, and then there's online exclusives and the annual catalog at the same time. Oh, yeah, I ordered a lot. And I ordered at midnight because I don't like to be, second in line. I want to be first in line because then it gets to me faster. But I'm also doing here we go. Oh, look at that. I did actually grab the right thing. Okay, let me just see what I'm doing. There we go. See, that one was the canceled one. I'm doing my spring fling on the 11th of April. Let me grab my box of cards. So this is sort of a hybrid thingy, just so you can come for whichever thing interests you, or do both, because I've got it planned in such a way. Just gonna have to get up and grab something that I forgot again every time. Except for this time, I at least figured out where I put them, or at least I thought I did. Oh yeah, I did. There we go. I don't know what I did with the pack that I could actually show you, but these are the greetings for all. Greetings for all ephemera, and you get 3 different sheets of this that makes a ton of sentiments. And then we have the cards that go with it. So we're making these 4 layouts, and then you can put whatever sentiment you want on them. And these are all using the, I didn't get it out. I was a little rushed today, I admit it. We are using the mixed florals. This is a reminder that I need to bring this big block to fit them. And I don't, what is this? I don't always bring this big a block to when we do in-person events, but I knew that if I didn't put something bright and obvious, it would remind me, I would never remember. But yeah, this is the bundle we're using. I love this. I love it so much. So these are the 4 cards we're making. These are some of the other ones I made using the same suite. Well, that one piece of paper, you can make like 6 in very quick order. Plus I have another set of 5 made with this suite. Plus I have a couple that I just made last night with this suite. Oh, I do. I love it. And so what I will have done, I have already done all of the ladybugs, because they're tiny and we want people to have cute little ladybugs on their cards. And I've prepped a whole bunch of the stuff, so you can come in, make your 4 cards, grab your sentiments, which you can add right away, or just wait and add when you know for sure who you're giving what to. And then you'll still have time to go over, do a couple of little in color make and takes, and look at a bunch. So between myself and borrowing from my bestie there, I will be able to have a lot of the new product that's coming out for online exclusives, and the annual catalog, you can only order a certain amount. My friend had gone on stage, so she won a couple of the door prizes that had sets that aren't available to buy yet, but she's got. So we'll have lots of good things to look at, plus all these in colors. And oh yeah, I can't wait. Plus I'm making an epic table treat. I'm having so much fun playing and making things lately, but I'm just going all out. So there's still a few spots left for that. There's especially depending which way you're going to go with it, whether it's the cards or what, but lots of room for that. And so instead of this month, so we're skipping this month's kit together, we're going right straight to April for the kit together. And if you watched last week, I made 3 different kits because they all came at once, and I couldn't like just wait and do one a week or anything. Oh no, I have to do all at once. So one of them was Maritime Moments, which is these cards. Oh, I come from a Navy family, people. Anything to do with the water and boats and that I just love, but these cards are just gorgeous. This whole watercolor look. So that was Maritime Moments. This one is called, oh, I have such a hard time with this name somehow. Welcoming Gate. And these cards, I mean, in the pictures, I was like, oh, I can't wait. But they're all kind of, well, that one's beautiful. This one has a little bit of a fun fold. And then this one is, oops, I'm dropping everything. And this one is like full on fun fold. So that kit, plus the March Paper Pumpkin kit came. That's upside down, which the Daisy Daydream, which is these cards. I mean, they are 3 of the most gorgeous kits. I will tell you that. So I will have some of these kits for our kit together. I've got a couple from the last time, plus because there's a whole little gap in there now, I will have, I should have the 2 new kits from April, plus April's Paper Pumpkin. So we'll have lots of new stock for our kit together to come. And that's basically what we do. I have lots of kits, like open kits. You can make the same kit, different kits. It's just like it's just a really nice morning out, but it's also just a really good way to get an introduction into stamping and see how things work. I'll walk you through everything. And you get delicious snacks from Foxhole Canteen, who's got teas, coffees, lattes, espresso. She does amazing baking. There's boosted smoothies and teas and like all that. So you can go healthier, you can go not whichever works for you. And one of those, like whatever you choose, one of those is included with the morning out. So it's fantastic. Save the date, 14th of June. I'll just keep reminding you this, and then as it gets closer, we'll talk more about it. But 14th of June is our, I want to say 4th. Did I write it on here by any chance? No, I didn't. I think it's 4th annual. We got 6-7 vendors coming. It's fantastic. 4th of October happens to be World Card Making Day. Also happens to be Christmas extravaganza. So come for that. Again, as it gets closer, more information. And then you guys know that the April kit is coming out, and it's beautiful. This alcohol ink technique, oh, beautiful. And then there's lots of touches of gold. What else does it say? Butterflies. This little berry burst. I love berry burst. That's the color of the Stampin' Spot. And these are the add-on dies for this quarter that are actually, I ordered those for myself and my Paper Pumpkin customers, and they are in one of those boxes. If there's time at the end, I'll dig in and find one and show you them in person, but that may not go quickly or not. Okay, so there we go. Look at me. I only went over by a few minutes, which is remarkable. The goal is quick, like 15 minutes of the update. There we go. Couldn't find where I put my project. And then we do a project. What else was I going to show you? I think I was going to show you something else I did, but now I can't. I don't know what I did it. Oh, I know what I was going to show you. Sorry. There we go. I was doing Easter stuff last week before we start today's. Sorry. Squirrel. And every year I notice, especially if people are making treats for schools. So we can find lots of little things, right? You can find chocolate, just about anything. So these are just little chocolate discs. Actually, you want to know what's so cute about these? I'm putting these in this little cellophane. And I realized there's numbers on them. And I'm like, oh, look, like 1 cent. Oh, 10 cents. And I looked at it. I was like, oh, look at this. It's money. And then like just like that, my brain went, it's bunny money. And then I laughed and laughed and thought I was absolutely hysterical. Turns out, if I had just read the tag where I got them, bunny money, says it right on the tag. I just totally didn't see it when I bought them. Anyways, those are chocolate. These little guys, these, I know I'm such a crackpot. What fun folder you're demonstrating. Mary, it is a pop-up gift card holder. It goes like this. This is what I like to put in my religious one, Lamb of God or Lamb of Arrow. I mean, no disrespect by that, but that's just my funny little pun brain. I did make some of these, right, that have chocolate eggs in them, right? It's really easy to put chocolate into things, but always get the question about, well, what about non-chocolate things? And so if you are local, and now I hate to admit it because I can't remember if this was local as in the Dollar Tree that's in Marville where I live, or the Dollarama that's in St. Albert next to where I live. But I found these. You get 6 of them for like $2 or something. You know those little games where you try to get the frustrating little games, but they're fun, where you try to get the ball in the little cup. And they fit perfectly into the diaper fold. So there's a little point for you. They've got stickers and pens and all sorts of things, but sometimes they're awkward, but this one works like a charm. Okay, so yes, let's go back to what I was showing you. This is, where's my phone? I gotta find it. This is, I saw a reel. I haven't actually had time to go look it up, so I don't know what her real name is, but I saw a reel that was done by Creative Moments by G, is what it said on the bottom. So I don't actually know what her name is. And actually, I don't even know if it's her because I have the sound off on my phone. So I just watched it, screenshot where she put the measurements and then made the card. And I love it. So I'm going to hold it up a little bit. So I just decorated mine how I wanted. This is kind of added on. It's a little busy, I realize now as I'm looking at it on there, but in person, it doesn't seem quite as busy. So when you open it up, then you have a little gift card. And I will admit that I use tear and tape for everything. So maybe if you used white glue, but with tear and tape, this is a little snug. So when I show you the one I'm going to make now, and I'm going to put it together live here, I'm going to adjust this slightly so it's a little bit wider because there's lots of space here too. I could easily make this a 1/4 inch wider. Then my gift card won't be so hard to get in and out. I also learned a couple things about where you stamp as I was going along. So I'll put that back in for now. And yeah, I had all the die cuts from, this is from the birthday celebration. Well, that's the stamp set. What is the paper called? I don't remember. Birthday something. Wildflower birthday. It's the wildflower birthday suite. All the die cuts that come in the back sheet. So I was just like die cuts everywhere. The other thing I thought I was going to go get one, but I did not. I noticed afterwards there's not really anywhere to write. Here, let me see what I got on my desk. Let's go with this. But I think you could easily, depending where you stamp, you could easily put in a little note with your gift card if you actually wanted to write something. You could also, if you want to write something bigger, and realizing that this is just like scraps I'm pulling off my desk, you could put a bigger like note card down the front, and it still does open and close because I tried it, right? And this kind of pops up with it when you do it, whee, and then it pulls out, and then there's the rest. You could also put, like if you wanted to use these as baby announcements, you could, instead of putting a gift card in it, I'm trying to see what I have. I don't have anything. You could put a picture. I'm trying to think, do I have anything that looks like a picture? No, I don't. You could put like just like a little baby picture in it. If your son looks like a coffee cup, so you could put just like a little picture, and you could have the little like it's a boy or whatever. So I don't think this necessarily has to be just a gift card holder. It's also just a fun way to open up. So you'll see that this has a little pocket on it, but if you didn't make the pocket, you could also just put it as a piece like this, and this is the part you write on, and then it's just a fun fold card, right? So multi-purpose, I think. Okay, let's do that. Do I have room still? Yes. Okay. Like I said earlier, I will post all the measurements and such. I'm gonna move my card out of the way in just a minute. I got everything but one piece cut. So we're going to start. I don't know where my English went downhill all of a sudden. We're going to start with a standard card base. I have to move this out of the way. I'm just going to keep knocking it over. So yeah, a regular card base, 8.5 by 5.5. I would imagine if you're in Europe and you're making this, it's a half a sheet of cardstock. So I would imagine you guys, it will adjust accordingly. Your cardstock, I think, is narrower and longer, but it's still going to work. You're basically cutting a half a card sheet. And then we are going to score. We're going to open up our phone again because it timed out on my, I had written the measurements all over here. But then I had to erase them so that because I smeared them with my papers. No, why are you not going inside? There we go. So then we are going to score it at 2.5. We're scoring it at 6.5. And you know me, I don't like to actually put the arm out on my trimmer. So 2.5 is 2 from the end. So I just flip it over and score 2 from the end. Because that's how I roll. So basically what we're doing is we're making sure that the bottom fold is a little bit shorter than the top fold, so that you have this bit of overlap, right? So whichever, if you're just adjusting for the, we're A4 and you're A5, or I might have it backwards. Maybe we're A5 and Europe is A4. That's all you want, is you just need to make sure so you're not quite in half, you're getting a bit of an overlap. Okay, so that's our bottom or our base of our card. Then knocked my cutting blade out by tucking my trimmer under my arm. Okay. And then, so the original size for this piece of white paper that, oops, where did my card go? For this piece of white paper in here was 4 inches wide by 6.5 long. I'm going to make it 4.25. I don't need it to be much wider. I just need it to be a little bit. That also, coincidentally, is exactly half a card sheet. Okay, so I'm going, what did I say, by 6.5? This is 11. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 4. Okay, sorry, that was some really elementary math, and it's only because I'm just rushing. Okay, so I'm just going to cut off 4.5. So I have a big chunk, which if I did that, my math correctly, yes, 6.5. So now I'm going to cut it at 4.25, just because then I've got 2 pieces the same size, and I didn't. I like to, when I'm cutting my paper, I like to have the biggest possible piece left over. So I always make sure I cut it first. I cut off the excess so I get the biggest piece. Okay, so on this one, we're going to go on the long side. We are going to go at 1/2 inch and score it. And then we are going to score it at 5 7/8. And oh, I'm not. No, sorry, 3 7/8. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not right. I got distracted. I was thinking ahead. I'm not sure why it's not 4. It would probably work at 4, and part of me wants to try it, but I'll show you the right way to begin with. So 3 7/8, so just shy of the 4-inch mark. Okay, so that's our 2. So really, that is the mechanisms of the card, and then the rest is all about decoration. So we have those pieces, and these are going to fold so that this piece is going to fold back. And you don't know it's back yet, but trust me, it is going to be back. And this piece is going to fold forward. The only problem with me writing all over there is now I made my thing dirty. Okay, so I drug this across my mat, which I guess had a bit of dry erase marker on it, and made it dirty. So I'm just going to fold it the other way so that the front side is not dirty. It's not going to matter. There we go. So now I have a piece that looks like this. Okay. Now, this piece is what goes inside. Here, I'll show you the roughly where things are going to go. I'm going to use tear and tape. You can use, I'm not putting this together quite yet. I'm just going to show you. But this way you'll understand where the adhesive is. I use tear and tape. White glue would work. I would not use just Seal. Seal Plus probably works. I will be honest, I don't really use Seal Plus a lot because I love tear and tape. I don't think Seal on its own is enough because this card is moving. Every time you open it, you're pulling on all these joints. Well, this one at the top especially. So I don't think it will I don't think seal would, I think you might risk pulling it off at some point. And because this is where the main hold is on this little flap here, I am going to peel off the front. I'm going to be very careful with this. And I'm going to put a second one over top. So I've got like full coverage on this little flap of adhesive. Okay. And as long as I don't like press on that particular part, it will work. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take these up when we're finished. We have to stamp first. I'm going to fold this over. I did something wrong on this. What did I do wrong on this? Let me see if I can take this out without wrecking it, because yes, I did. What did I do wrong? Okay, just 1 second. I'm looking at my notes. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Okay, I apologize, people. Easily fixable. I was looking at this measurement that said 6.5, the score mark of 6.5 on the line above instead of this. This is actually supposed to be 5 7/8. I was gonna, this piece is too long. Oops, sorry. This piece is too long, is what I noticed, because I looked at the wrong line on my sheet. So I did 6.5, and it's supposed to be 5 7/8. So what I need to do is I need to come in here and get 3/8 off the end. Just save that for something else. Perfect strip for a sentence. Okay, now it makes more sense. See, and this is why you dry fit your stuff, because then if you've screwed up, you can still fix it. Okay, so this, as soon as I folded it over, I knew something was wrong because there's not enough space here. Okay, so this piece here, we're gonna eventually take that out and we're gonna fold this over. This, we're gonna lay it right like this, like right in the middle, and we're gonna fold this down to catch it. I'll do it again, don't worry. So then this is gonna pull up like this. This part is gonna fold over, and that's where it kind of goes up and down, right? So I found when I was making it the first time, I did this, I kind of dry fit it, and I'm like, okay, so I can see, okay. So when it pulls out, how much, and I could see that I could write a word right here, right? So that's where I wrote birthday. I knew I could write the word birthday. And I thought to myself, and I can write happy along the top, because when I put my gift card, which Lord knows what I did with it, there it is. When I put my gift card in, oops, just a bit, there we go. When I put my gift card in, I had lots of space here. So when I actually went to stamp it, and I didn't have these flowers in, I just had the words happy birthday. This happy was way too high and looked ridiculous. Hence the reason we've added some flowers on, because I had to somehow block like how high the happy was. So if you are putting in a picture or a piece of cardstock or something that you've written on, and you need more room, like you need it to stick out more, you can. If you're not going to, if you're just going to put in a gift card of some kind, or fold up some money or whatever, this happy doesn't need to be right at the top of the fold. I mean, you've got about a good inch, maybe inch and an eighth along this top where you could, so if your sentiment is bigger or whatever, you can write it here. The birthday, a little tiny bit of the Y got cut off, but not enough to matter. And I couldn't go any higher because my H just about went off the paper. So this is what you're going to see, right? You're going to see about a 1-inch strip here and about a 1-inch strip here. So that's what's going to pop out. You could stamp behind it. You could stamp on here, but anything you're going to stamp before we glue, right? Because otherwise it's going to be weird to try to get the stamping in there. Just stuck my finger in there. So I am, yeah, I'll just do the same colors. I didn't actually pick out, I picked out the front panels of this, but I didn't pick out the full decoration of this. But I'm going to show you what I mean. And I'm going to stamp it a little bit lower just so you can see the comparison. I'm not going to put all the flowers on this one because the paper is very flowery. Okay, so this is, I'm doing it on the wrong spot, which is a good thing I just did that. This is the piece that's going to fold under, and this is the piece that's going to fold up. So right here, if we open it up, right here on this piece here is this where the word birthday is. Oops, right where my head is. Move it over there. That's where the word birthday is. Okay. So when I'm going to line this up, I want to make sure I don't go over the edge there. And I'm going to center it, but I'm going to get as close to the edge as I can. And so if you're, this birthday is a rather large word. If you could have a narrower word, you could scooch it down a little bit. But remember, you've got about, I'll actually measure it. It's like maybe an inch and a, it's an inch and a bit, I think. It is, yeah, it's about an inch and 3/16. So just shy of an inch and a quarter. And the top part is about it, is about an inch and a quarter, but part of it will be covered by that. So it's probably easiest if you just go with an inch. But yeah, you could definitely put a little bit lower if your sentiment was smaller. So now when we fold this up, our birthday works. Now we're going to write our happy here. As soon as I figure out where I put it, there it is. That's my happy. So this time, still trying to go center, but I'm going to go down a bit. Happy. I'm going to close this guy. Sorry, I thought I saw somebody coming up and I was just getting all prepared for the dog to lose his mind again. Because I was looking out the window, I made my happy a little smudgy, but you'll see. So if there's anything else that you want to stamp on here, excuse me, now's the time to do it. Or if you're going to all of a sudden have a cough, get a drink. Apparently the UPS delivery was too much for the dog because he's sound asleep outside my door. I don't think you can quite hear him snoring, but we'll see if he gets really going here. Okay, so now, where did I put it? Now you can see, and I'll do this just because when it's white on white like that, you can't really see. But you see, I have my little pocket, and I still have my happy birthday. He still fits in there. And so happy is a lot lower on this one than it was on the other one. Still lots of room. I'm trying to think how my son's school pictures, I think, are just a little bit wider than this. I think school pictures, no, they maybe 2.5 by 3.5. So I think even if you were like including, like send this to grandma with, you know, one of the school pictures, I think it'd be a little bit wider. So you might have to scooch up just a touch. But yeah, you'd still have lots of room in there. Okay, so take that out. And yes, even though I made it look difficult, it's because I'm trying to grab it. But this one fits a whole lot better, like slides in and out, because my tear and tape is taken up like 3/8 of an inch on either side. But it fits a lot better with that one than it did in this original measurement. Now, if you are using narrower cardstock or whatever you have, like I said, it does hold, maybe just, or fold over your tear and tape or something. But this one is a 4-inch wide and this one is 4.25. Okay, so now to put this in your card, like I said, let me put my stuff out of the way. We're going to go and center it. So I have tear and tape or whatever adhesive you want. I guess when I made mine, I forgot to take the second strip off the first time. So there we go. We'll take the second strip off. So this is the adhesive is on here. You can see it's kind of shiny. You want to put this down. So it's folded backwards. Just to reiterate, it's folded backwards, but just kind of lay it out so it's flat and center it. So you want it to be stopped just before the score line. And you want to center it side to side. So let me see what I'm doing here. There we go. Okay. So don't overlap the score line because it'll be all bulky and weird when you try to fold it. So just stop just before that score line and center it side to side. There we go, side to side. And then take this flap and close it and squish down on where the glue is. So now when you open it and fold this back, it's now this white piece is now stuck to the lid, like to the flap that moves. Okay. So now, do it this way so we can still see, we're going to close up the bottom piece. And I don't know, I mean, I guess you could close this up and tuck it in first. I don't really think it matters which way you do it. And this one, we have the adhesive on here, both sides, and we're just folding it up and lining up our edges. There we go. And now when we close, and then we open and this little thing pops out. And I mean, I can pull, if I pull hard enough and I like really pull it back, I can almost get the whole Y there, but there's enough of this still hanging out. There's like this much, I think, underneath here. So this isn't going to pop out. But when I screwed up there and was trying to figure out what I did, if you're gentle with it, you can actually bend it enough and like eventually pull it out. But you don't have to worry about it coming out when you don't want to. So that is the fancy mechanism. And then we just have to decorate. So on this one, and so you're going to see both pieces, right? So on this one, I just put the DSP straight on the cardstock. This is the DSP that I wanted to use on this one though. But I had pre-cut out these little card fronts. Like the one side of the paper is the orange daisies or peach pie daisies, and the other side is a card front. Right? So basically, the piece that you want to put on the front here is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So it's basically a card front, and we're just going to cut it into 2 pieces to put on here. Well, this one was just a little bit too narrow for what I wanted. Plus, if I put it on like this, it's very peach on peach, right? So 2 things. If you have a small piece that you want to use and it's not quite big enough because this is too wide, I don't want this, then just put a mat between it. It also will help if the paper you want to use is a little bit too much tone on tone, then that little bit of matting, and in this case, it's just white. I could mat it with blue, I could mat it with black, I could do all sorts of things. It just gives you like a little buffer. Plus, if you're doing any kind of fun fold, an extra layer of cardstock just makes your like the part you're holding a little more stiff, so it's less likely to get kind of all folded and warpy. It doesn't it, Mary? That's what I thought too. The things you could stick in here, it does so lots of things. You can open it up and it could just say something, pictures, things, and it really does go quick. I tend to ramble a lot when I craft, but really when I read all the measurements and everything down for you and you like pop it in, they go together really quickly. I forgot her name already again. So good on, what did I say? Creative Moments by G. I will have to look it up. Before I do the measurements and that, I will look it up and figure out what her like if she actually says her name on there. So yeah, you can put layers on here, and this one is going to tuck slightly under. I'm going to glue these together here in a minute. So when you go to put this down, I will have 2 sets of measurements. I will have the main layer, this outside layer, which is if you're putting just straight DSP, that's the same. Or if you want to mat it, I'll show you what the 2 different layers are, and it just adds a little bit to it. So these ones, if you're crafting right along with me, they're both 5 1/4. Here, let's try it this way. These 2 pieces, like I said, this adds up to 1 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Sorry, 4 by 5 1/4 layer to go on here. That's why this is so big, because I screwed that up, didn't I? I think I made this bottom one too wide. Nope, I didn't. I just thought I did. Okay. So these are both 5 1/4 long. This one is 2 1/4 wide, and this one is 1 3/4 wide. 1 3/4 and 2 1/4. So I'm going to pop those ones on because then you can see I finished with those as well. And this is, if I'd had time, I would have made them in a totally different one. I might do that just because it is so much fun. If I have time right now, I'll pop in a different color, different pattern. You could also, it doesn't have to be DSP. If you were putting cardstock on, you could just stamp on the cardstock. Ooh, these are very girly with all the flowers, or very flowery, I guess, not necessarily girly. I just thought of the perfect paper that we could use. Here's the other thing I'm going to suggest. Thanks, Mary. I very much appreciate you chatting with me, and you have yourself a wonderful afternoon. I will post the measurements, and you can check it out on my Facebook or here. They'll have the measurements posted. I'm going to suggest when you're going to put this down, and this is a pet peeve of mine, that you kind of like roughly put where you think it's going to go. And then just kind of double check before you're done to make sure that this layer, the edges, line up with the one above it. Because when you look at the finished product, they're going to, and that way, if you're off a little bit, you're not off twice. Like, right? So now my line, these two lines all line up together. Okay. So yeah, this could have stamped images on it. It's a little stark like that. So these are, yeah, these ones were 5 1/4, 2 1/4, and 1 3/4. And then this one you could, depending on, you could make it a narrower margin. In this case, I'm just trying to make the piece I want fit. So this one is 1/4 inch less on both measurements. So this one is 5 by 2. Ouch. And the other one is 5 by 1 1/2. We're just going to pop these ones into the middle. And again, when I go to put this one on, I'm just going to look and make sure that, oops, I'm sticking my fingers to it. I'm just going to look and make sure that, that's why I kind of do it sideways every now and again. I can see, like, making sure that this is working, and then I just make sure that my DSP is kind of matching up too. I think that one go a little bit too high. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Now it goes down. And then, yeah, I just put tear and tape. You know, I'm almost always craft on my silicone mat, but I wasn't doing it now. And so, of course, I just like tear and tape the middle of my desk. I just need to decorate this one. But the idea that I had as I was going, just a minute, I used to keep all my stuff I have all this like pre-made stuff on my desk, and everything is scored. The unfortunate part, is that if you have like regular card bases ready, I'll keep talking, but I'm going to get my DSP. If you have regular card bases already made, and you've scored them in the middle, unfortunately, that score line is not the exact same on this card. So you need to start with a fresh half sheet. But this is what I thought. Is this paper came from the March online exclusives. It's called Woven Textures, and it is divine. And it is beige, crumb cake, espresso, gray granite, and pecan pie. But I wanted to make, a two-tone card for starters, but I also want to make something less flowery. And my chair took a trip there. What have I got? I got 10 minutes. Well, let's just see how well we do in 10 minutes. Okay, so following along, we are cutting a half a sheet of cardstock. That is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. And we are scoring at 2 1/2. Let's make the 10-minute card. 2 1/2. This is not one that I have to flip. Oh no, yes it is 6 1/2. And this one is at 6 1/2, or flip it over and score at 2. That gives us our basic fold. And then the white piece in the middle, I've already got my 4 1/4 inch wide. So this is supposed to be 6. Sorry, I'm doing the math as I go. This is supposed to be 5 7/8, and I score it at 3 7/8. So I'm scoring at 2 inches. So I don't need the extra 2 inches. Stay with me here. So this should be, normally this would be 5 7/8, and then I would take 2 inches off the bottom. So I'm going to go with, I'm going to just go with 4. So now this piece is 4 1/4 by 4. And let's just see how well I did in my math. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to score 1/2 inch, and I'm not going to fold the little pocket thing, because this time I'm going to see what we do if we make it not actually hold something, but just be a fun fold. Okay, we'll see how that works, because we're going to try it at the same time as we go. So I've just got one fold on this one, because yeah, instead of trying things ahead of time, I like to just wing it. That is how I roll. Oh, see, I like these. I love this paper. It's just so awesome. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna make both these at the same time. So these need to be, I'm gonna put this one on the bottom. Put my thing upside down. We're speed crafting now. What did I say this one was? 2 1/4. No, the bottom is, this is 1 3/4. The bottom is 1 3/4. 5 1/4. This is not 5 1/4, but 1/4 by, or 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. And this one is 2 1/4. There's something else I was going to show you too, which this just reminded me of, by 5 1/4. Speedy, speedy. Let's see if we can do it. The other thing I was going to say is I need 2 more 5 1/4 pieces. Let me just see. I was also thinking that if you wanted to, you could put stuff on the flaps here and make it just like jazz it up a little bit. I just need to see how big of a piece I need. Go with me. So these are both going to be 2 1/4. So I need another one that's 2 1/4 because that's going to match the top. If this works, it's going to be so cute. If it doesn't work, well, I will use the cardstock for something else, or the DSP, because I'll test it before I put these last 2 pieces on. But I have a thought, so let's go with it. And this one, just coincidentally, is also 2 1/4. Because I'm doing it, I'm figuring it out as I go. So this is Tracey admitting very easily that my brain is not all it used to be. So I did 4 1/4 by 4 for the inside piece, and I did 2 1/4 by 5 1/4 times 2 for the DSP inside. All the rest of the measurements were the same. Oh, you can't see that because my head's in the way. Look, I'll move my head out of the way. Does that help? Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I'm doing that just so I can remember. Okay, so here's what we want to do. We want to put place. So we're still gonna put the mechanism together the same way, but we're gonna tape a few things down before we close this thing up. And we're gonna stamp. But I have the feeling that I could make this look like a basket. And when you open it on the inside, it's also going to look like a basket. So that's where my brain went. And I have 7 more minutes. So that's good. The hardest part of this is, of course, going to be figuring out what am I stamping on it. Here's the other thing that I realized I was going to tell you after. I kind of forgot. But if your paper is directional, your designer paper is directional, it really matters when you put it on ahead of time that you put it on the right way. Mine is not directional, so it doesn't really matter. But the other thing you could do if you find it easier is, so this is going to be the bottom part, right? So this is this part. The reason I'm flipping it the other way is when I hold my paper like this, it's really hard to see where this stops, right? But if you go like this, it's kind of on the side of it. I can see at least where the top of it is. So you could always put your DSP on before you fold everything up if you find it easier. And then this top is going to flip down like this. Now, one of them we're going to wait and see because it may be ridiculous, but we'll wait till it's all put together to find out. This other one, though, instead of having this plain here, I want to put another sheet. So this is my second, this is the 2 1/4 strip. The one that I put on first was the 1 3/4 one. Okay. Now this one, I want it as close to this. This is going to fold over, right? So I want it as close to the top as possible. But I want to keep my spacing. Otherwise, I think it will look funny. I'm keeping my same spacing everywhere. And I'm just putting it on the top. So now when I fold this over, see my whole bottom is, but I still do have this little piece. And that may or may not need to change. But right now, I kind of like the way it looks with the spacing being even. And then this is going to go here, same as last time. but instead of having a pocket on it, this is where the image is going to be. So I know that if I stand this up, there we go. If I stand this up a little bit, just so I can get an idea where it's going to go, and I fold this over, when this opens up, I'm going to have about this much. So I'm just keeping my finger here as like a place marker. I'm going to have about this much that I can stamp on. So that's about an inch from the bottom. Okay. I'm going to put this there because I made that big mark. So I've got this space here. I got about this much space that I can stamp. And again, I never actually planned this out. So what am I going to stamp? I'm going to stamp with the very big set. There we go. Just check this out. Happy birthday. But instead, I'm going to do a thinking of you card. Never have too many of those. And then I'm going to put some. Actually, no, you know what? Maybe I'll stick with the birthday because then I can do a little more jazzy stuff here. So we're going to stick with the happy birthday. So I'm going to put this down here. This is going to be about, that's going to be about how much room I have, what's above the folder. Instead of above the fold, it's above the folder. So that's about how much space I have. So then I can decide if I want to put like a little cupcake or a little heart or a star. And I think in this case, I might just put a little cupcake there. So I'm going to pop that down a bit so I have room. Oh, what color would I make a cupcake though? Oh, not going with a cupcake. See, this is what happens when I'm just winging it and I have zero idea what I'm doing. I'm going to make it a little heart. Okay, about half of my blocks are all like stamps on them now. That one. And we'll pick up this one. Not big enough. So I have so many stamps here. That is also not big enough. I have done this before where I have folder where I have tried to pick it up on a skinny one. And if you don't have, like in this case, it's just like the bottom of the Y here. If it's not fully on when you go to stamp, then you're really gonna notice that it's not gonna hit as hard. It's not gonna have as much behind it, and you're really gonna notice that it's that little bit is just not the same darkness as all the rest of them. So make sure we don't do that. And then again, whatever you do, don't leave your bone folder there because you'll hit the block and it also won't stamp. So in this case, I now know that I'm putting a heart there. So as long as I leave enough room for the heart. This is early espresso, which is an underrated stamp color, I tell you. Doesn't get used near enough. Love it. And then, well, it makes sense to me that hearts are red, so we'll just go with the red heart. Okay. Speedy. Again, I'm going to take the second piece of tape off. Oh, I got 1 minute. We're going to lay this down and center it. Oh, it is a good thing I slowed down. I want to put a piece of DSP on here so when it opens, it looks like the inside of the basket. I just realized I have to do it before I put this on. Otherwise, I won't be able to stick it down because that's going to be stuck to the top. So, kudos for recognizing before I made the mistake and not having to try to fix it after I made the mistake. Every now and again, I surprise myself. Okay, so this one we do actually have to put on first. Let me get all our spacing the same as we had. There we go. Okay, so just before the score line, centered side to side, but just shy of that. Squish it down. Oh, so cute. And then we're going to pop these guys out. That guy out. Oh, see, that's not too bad. I mean, let's admit it. It was total fluke. But I actually got the spacing pretty nice on that. And now here we go. Oh, what did I do wrong there? Oh, see, I must have slipped it the last minute. I got it a little bit stuck, did I, or what? Oh, okay. Here's what we figured out. It wouldn't close. When I tried to do it, it wouldn't close. And if you look at it here, it's because this is going over. So I said this needed to be 4, this piece here, when in fact, I don't just write on here in black. I have red so I can correct it. Instead of 4, we actually, this just needs to be, well, let's cut a good 1/2 inch off that. So let's go with 3.5. I don't want it to pop out at the same time. I need to be able to close it. So my guess at 4 was not correct. I love this little cutter. There we go. I need to cut another little strip off. This is what happens. The fact that this is actually still usable is surprising, because usually when I'm just winging it and making stuff up, there we go. This stuff is so mangled by the time you get it that you can't do it. But look at this. Now it will close because now it's not hitting the bottom. So it looks like a basket. And then when you open it, it still looks like a basket. And here's the best part. As soon as I figure out what I did with it. Oh, there it is. If you change your mind, you can still stick something in the front of it. Right? You still want to put a picture, you want to put an announcement. So if you wanted to make like fancy wedding announcements or shower announcements that had all the information here, you could have the little, you know, the card they send back or whatever. You could still tuck it down the middle, or the baby picture could be here, and this could be all the stuff. But if you just want to make a fun fold that just says happy birthday, there it is. Now we just need to decorate up the front. So I will do those before I post the final pictures and all the measurements and stuff. And there's one that is decorated. That shows you with your gift card sticking in it. And there we go. And I only went over by 2 minutes. Woohoo! Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I hope you find many uses for this, and I will post it later. And if you make one of these, I would love it if you would post yours so I could see what it looks like, because we all need ideas and we all like to be inspired by each other. So there you go. So thank you, Creative Moments by G, I think is her name, which I will find out. And there we go. Pop up gift card holder, or just kind of fun fold birthday card. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. Bye.